So
Correct.
for someone brand new to this, like, all right, we're talking to the young rapper right now.
Mm,
He got it. He really got it. But it's just if he doesn't get his business straight right now, he's going to get over and sign a
mhm.
bad deal. He's going to. You know what I'm saying? So for someone brand new, what exactly is an LLC and why should someone consider starting one? Why should a rapper consider starting one?
Well, an LLC spelt out is limited liability company. So anything that takes the liability off of the individual and puts it on an entity separates their personal finance to their business finance. Whether you're independent or you're going to go sign a deal with a large label, this applies. They don't think about themselves as a business. They're thinking, I need to sell t-shirts. I need to have a pair of glasses, a headset, or whatever it is that they create to make as a business. Whereas you as the individual are a business. So let's use my name, for instance. If I'm going to go be a singer or even a songwriter, if I'm going to go do that for somebody, whether it's on an independent level or on a major label level, then Madonna Marie is the brand. Madonna Marie is the service provider for what it is that you're asking me to do. I'm writing
Yeah.
music for artists. So when they pay me, they're not paying me as a regular individual. They're not paying me to my social security number. They're paying me to my EIN, which is my employer identification number. And I work for myself
Right.
underneath that number.
Right.
So if anything happens, if anybody is not happy with my service, my provision of service, whatever, when they go to so-called sue me or deal with me on the legal side of things, that EIN number is what's going to cut the liability, meaning they won't be able to touch my personal finance. They can only touch whatever I said the business still has in reservation in that account. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it separates you from your business. You're basically, all right, I'm a rapper and I'm working for this company, but it's my company. So when you
Right.
do business with me, you're doing business with my company, who I happen to work for. I'm a
Correct.
writer, I'm a musician for this company.
Correct.
And now what does that avoid? Like right
That's what I
there.
just was the one example that I just used was if they decide they need to sue me for something because they're like, okay, this song isn't written the way that I want to, even though I've given you deliverables based off of what we described was going to happen. If for whatever reason they try to say I'm in breach of contract, I didn't deliver on a deliverable, and they decided they want to take a legal route, meaning sue me in court, they can only sue my company. They can only go after the fiduciary money that my business, that entity has. The business has its own 9-digit number. So the business has a social and you have your own social. When they take you to court, they're taking the business social to court. So if that business has no money in the bank, there's nothing for them to get. They can't come after your personal finance. It separates
Right.
your financial liability altogether.
So we pretty much broke down like what a LLC is and how, what to do.
And how they can make it work for oh no, we haven't gotten there yet.
So I want to ask you this. How can a young entrepreneur make an LLC work for them? Like how do they make it work for them instead of it just
Mm.
being a legal paper, just a paper they
Okay.
filed?
Well, step number one would be as soon as you get your EIN number for your LLC, you want to open up your accounts. Separate your telephone number, get you a professional telephone number, separate your mailing address. There's only specific types of businesses that they will allow to be verified from the house, but not all businesses. So all your business cannot be done from the house. In order for them to respect you as a business, it has to have a separate mailing address. P.O. boxes are a no-no. Get you a separated bank account. So you want to get you, even if it's I'm going to call it a starter level for business banking. They have different tiers for business banking, and it's based on how much revenue, which is how much money you're going to be bringing into the bank. If you're just starting out and you've never made any sales before, you've never done anything in your service before, then you want to get the first tier. Why? Because you don't want to take part in any, what's it called? Banking. They have what's called banking monthly service fees. You don't want to take part in any extra fees if you're just starting out. So you want to make sure that your business on paper, once you're done establishing your EIN number, you want to make sure that you now have a physical mailing address that's separate from your house. You want to have a business bank account where you can take in your business funds separate from your personal finance money. Because again, you want to make sure your liability only stays with the business. You do not want to commingle funds,
Right.
meaning mix them together.
And if you guys want to know why, like, why is that the rules? Why should I do it that way? You need to get with her in her business, Dreams Business Consulting, and she can explain to you thoroughly and show you
Yeah.
firsthand why you need to follow what she just said right now. And we'll have it popped up right here so y'all get it perfectly. You know what I mean? Screenshot it, whatever you got to do, share it. You know, put your family on. We all got somebody that needs, somebody's out here. Everybody knows somebody that started a business or that's chasing a dream or that's trying to do something and break the cycle in their family. You guys need to follow the right ones. If you're not going to read, if you're not going to go pick up Business for Dummies or LLC for Dummies, then you need to pay the right person and have them lead the right, because you're going to waste money any other way. So that brings me to the next question. We want to switch to taxes now. You know, we want to okay, we started our LLC. We're not liable. We got our business bank account, but we're going to go into that later a little bit more. Now, what should we do with taxes? When you first start a business, what's the most important thing to understand about your taxes?
That you're responsible for paying your taxes.
Okay, yeah. Number
when
one.
you are running a business, that's number one. When you are running a business, because people get scared when they hear the term taxes, there is nothing wrong with paying taxes. 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, you will not owe that much in taxes. Taxes are calculated based on not just the money made, but also the money that you have to spend out in deductions in order for you to conduct business. So people who are telling you the bad side about taxes, or their bad experiences with taxes, they did not budget, meaning putting aside 30% of their revenue coming in on a monthly basis to be able to have a cushion to just pay Uncle Sam when the time comes. So that's the first thing that I want y'all to understand. You are responsible for paying taxes.
Put your 30% to the side. Off top.
Responsible for making sure you put 30% to the side. And 30% is a slick point that I try to give people. It's not necessarily that full amount that you're going to give them, but if you put aside 30% and then you sit down with your tax person, whether it's monthly, quarterly, or annually, and they tell you this is how much you got to pay, you probably don't have to pay the full amount of what you've been putting to the side, but you at least are prepared for what it is you possibly may have to, pay out tax time comes. Another thing would be failing to track expenses. So you want to make sure that you're tracking your expenses so that you can get the most out of your deductions. Expenses are going to be things like uniforms that you have to pay for to be able to go to your self-employed job or your service provision professionally daily, the supplies that you need in order to, the supplies that you would need to run your business. So if you're a person that's a chef, whether you're a private chef, a personal chef, which are 2 different types of chefs, a caterer, your supplies from the pans to the spoons, the spatulas, the scoops, to the food cost, how much it costs for you to buy the ingredients. Those things are deductions. Those things are money that's spent. So you have to keep track of money spent. Gas in the car. Those are things that are spent out when you are conducting business. And then, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah. So when you start an LLC, normally they put you on quarterly taxes. And what that means is instead of you filing annually, which is 1 time a year, like you would as a W-2 earner, you have to file 4 times a year. There are 4 quarters in the year. So every 3 months, you'll be sitting down with your bookkeeper or a tax consultant for you to get your taxes done. Failing to do that adds interest to the money that they expect to be owed. Okay. So remember, sit down and file your taxes in the time that you need to sit down and file your taxes.
If you don't pay, they're going to add interest to the money that you were supposed to pay anyway. So you're better off.
Correct.
You're better off calling them back and being like, hey, let's work this out, because you're going to end up paying some way or another. We didn't see Martha Stewart go to jail over taxes. That's when I knew it was, it's a real thing.
Yes, it is definitely a real thing. A lot of people, they call it tax evasion. A lot of people who you either idolize, look up to, sometimes their businesses aren't put all the way together. And it's because of the mindset based on how they were raised. Yeah. Based on the, the environment that they're a product of. And then there's some people who just feel like they are above taxes.
Right. I'm going to be in the streets forever. I don't got to pay taxes. I got this cash. I got this money flow.